Okay, so before we go to the visualization I made on Mathematica, I wanted to show the order 5 permutahedron on Wikipedia. So this is the 120 vertices, but instead of being projected down into 4 dimensions, it's projected all the way down into 2 dimensions. So can you tell me anything about this shape, or do you notice anything? Can you see anything on this shape?
You can see there are a bunch of interconnected vertices on the inside of the shape, but there are you can still see like a sort of a rectangular shape on the top, and then there's 2, 3, 4. This might be an octagon on the side.
All right, what can you see?
I mean, it definitely looks like a 4-dimensional representation of a shape, because it looks like there's kind of like faces or 3D faces inside here. That would probably make more sense if we could think in 4 dimensions, but we can't.
Yeah, it's tricky. So I played around a lot, and I made several graphs of the shaped with the 3D slices.
Okay.
So this, I didn't show the connections between the vertices. I just show them. I show the vertices as red balls, and then I also show the shape. If there's a 3-dimensional shape they form, I show that shape. But this is, if we did the same exact thing that we did with the 2 and 3D one, projected the 3-dimensional projected to 2, the 4-dimensional projected to 3, now the 5-dimensional projected to 4. This is standing on its face, and this is the bottom 3D slice. So why don't you move this around and tell me what you notice about this bottom 3D slice. These are the 6 vertices that are on the bottom.
Well, let's see. If we look at it like this, it looks like it appears. I mean, if we connected them up, looks like they would form a regular hexagon.
Okay.
But that might not be how they actually connect up. Like, we're not sure.
Yeah, because you can sort of see they all seem to line up.
Okay.
Yeah, so they all lie flat on a plane. They might connect into a hexagon.
We don't know.
We're not sure.
It certainly looks like a hexagon here. And if we went through and labeled what the original points were, which we could do, by the way, with the program, but here I'm just looking at the visualization. Now, why is it? Well, I shouldn't say why is it. Are you surprised that we see a 2-dimensional hexagon here as the base of this 4-dimensional shape?
Well, I mean, a little bit, because we're taking 3-dimensional slices.
Our cat is getting very involved in the project here. We're taking 3-dimensional slices.
And if we saw in the 4-dimensional, the 4th version, like normally when you're taking 2-dimensional slices, they didn't actually form 2-dimensional shapes, but sometimes they did. So
yeah, so at the bottom of that one it was actually a square. That was a 2-dimensional shape.
yeah, and we're expecting 3-dimensional shapes, but we're not getting any connections here.
Yeah.
Like, this would be equivalent to like slicing our previous one, our 4D shape in 3D space. Like, if we sliced that starting on an edge, or if we sliced our hexagon starting at a single point. So it's kind of the same thing. It's not.
Yeah, and when we did slice the hexagon, we did start at a single point.
So it's not impossible.
So we actually, the bottom of this actually drops down 1 extra dimension, so everything got really flat.
Yep.
And so now I'm going to move 1 level up. And here's what the shape is. And so what I think is true in this shape, just before I let you play around with it, is that I think the ones that have the short edge are actually connected. Because the edges are always length square root of 2. So I think the short edge is connected.
But the long edges aren't.
Yeah. So move this shape around and tell me what you see.
Let's see.
So we started out with 6, and now the next layer up has 12.
Well,
It's kind of like a. You just got these groups of two kind
Again,
of sitting
we
around.
We
They
saw
probably
the
connect
groups of
somehow.
we saw the groups of 2 if the short edges connect.
They
We saw-
probably
we-
connect
we
up
s-
and down.
We saw some of that in the previous version. We saw the 3 groups of 2 connected when we put the hexagon on the bottom.
Yeah, my guess is they don't connect up and down here because it looks to me like that distance down is longer.
I mean, like they
But-
connect with a lower level or and an upper level somehow.
What do you mean by that?
Like to form the actual shape, they would connect with like our hexagon we saw previously,
Oh yeah, right.
or whatever the next level up is.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. In the 4th dimension, they're connected to the bottom layer and to the layer above them, probably. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me, why don't you move this shape around, and tell me what you think about this shape?
I mean, in reality, it wouldn't be like an actual shape. It would be a collection of vertices, but it's pretty interesting. It's kind of symmetrical. It's like you have the same 2D face on the top and the bottom, but you're rotating it by a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. So here's the next shape going up one more layer. Now this one has 24 vertices.
So let's see, it's doubled every time. Gone from 6 to 12, 24.
Oh, sorry. I lied. Actually, I misremembered. This has 18.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
it's
we
gone
added
up by
another.
6.
Middle layer.
Yeah. So move this around and tell me what you think.
Again, we see this top layer has the 3 groupings of 2. See, the middle layer kind of looks like they're evenly spaced, like we saw in the very first slice. And then the bottom layer looks to be the same as the top layer.
It's kind of like if you took the first 2 layers and kind of combined them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. It's again, I think the shortest edge is the root 2 length, which is connected, which would mean that on the middle layer, I don't think there's
Nothing's
actually any
connected.
connections. But I don't know for sure.
Yeah, so it's like you stretched apart the second layer and then kind of smushed the first layer in the middle.
Yeah. And then here's the next layer. This is the one that has 24. So move this around and tell me what you see.
So, let's see. Now we're starting to see rectangular shapes, and we haven't seen those before.
This actually looks quite a bit like the 3D. The 3D shape we have before the 4D shape that gets projected into 3 dimensions, but kind of distorted.
Yeah. We've got we kind of orient it like this, I think.
It actually kind of looks
It
like
is.
how the Bermudahedron we printed, it kind of looks like how it displays printed.
Yeah, actually, good point. Actually, it's a great observation. So this is one of the middle layers. There are 2 middle layers that have 24.
And then it goes
Yeah,
back.
it goes back.
It goes back. So then, like if we moved up to the next layer, we would see this shape,
And then we go back,
and then we go back to this shape,
and then go back,
back to this shape, and then we
back to the
end
top layer.
at the hexagon. So that slicing helps us get a sense of what the 5D, the permuting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 permutahedron that lives in 5-dimensional space but projects to 4-dimensional space. And here's what the 3-dimensional slices are. Oh, I didn't go down all the way, did I? Or is this, yeah, this was the
Yeah,
one that we
this
thought
was
looked a little bit like our 4D permutahedron. So what do you think? Do you think you could draw the 5-dimensional permutahedron?
No.
No. We're missing a few dimensions.
Okay. But projecting it into 2-dimensional space was a little hard, but with these 3D slices, maybe we could start understanding what it looked like. It's pretty cool, though, that it breaks up into pieces like this.
Yeah.
All right, you guys want to look at anything else?
No.
No? Okay, all right. Good job, guys.